Okay, hello. It's me again. Go away, dog. This is part 3. I'm doing this in parts. The dog is so amazed by me. Dog learns so much from me. Right. Dog, God. I learn from the dog. The dog is my guru. Dogs are my guru. Okay, this is part 3 of... I'm doing this because somebody told me to do another one. So, hi, whoever told me to do another one. I'm going to go a little farther. Yesterday, I kind of talked about this little life cycle that you go through, where you start as a baby and you end up as a baby. And depending upon whether you want to, go back to being an angel over here is up to you throughout this process, okay? And wherever this came from, this baby, is where you're going, okay? It's like popped into this place, pop, and it's gonna pop out. So this whole thing, I wanted to kind of go a little farther, is a dream. It's a dream I'm having. Okay, it's one of infinite number of dreams that Marianne Brown is what I call myself now. That's, just a dream name. And I'm dreaming I'm a woman. I'm dreaming that I'm 62 years old. I'm right around here. I'm dreaming that I have 3 children, 1 in spirit. I'm dreaming, one who's already decided to not use a body. I'm dreaming that I'm wearing this thing. This is all a dream. When I go to sleep at night, which is another dream, I dream other dreams, but this is also part of the dream. Okay, so I'm dreaming now. I'm dreaming I'm talking to you, which is okay, fine, I don't care. I don't take it that seriously because I know I'm dreaming this all up. Now, one of the things I didn't explain yesterday, which I'm going to explain today, is that when you're in this cycle place of whatever, going through this whole dream, that you can choose, and many people do, to get out of here, In fact, you're already out of here all the time. Now, wrap your mind around that. Don't, because your mind just gets you in trouble. This whole dream is just this tiny little thing. And there's this incredible you, this like real you, dreaming this little one up. Okay, this tiny little thing up. All right, so this is actually a dream. And if you don't want to use one of these, like this one or 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 this, these costumes that you're wearing, you just say, it's time for me to stop using that costume, stop dreaming it. So you just stop. And from the perspective of what you've been taught in this linear little place, you think, other people look at it and they say, oh, that person popped out of their costume and that's called death. Okay? And they freak out because a lot of people believe that this dream that we're all having is really who we are. No, it's not. I was never really any, I played them out. These are roles. These are dramatic or comedic roles that I played out. And I haven't gotten quite to this one yet. I'm working on this one. I haven't quite got to that one yet. These are all, I may never get to, I may end up at this one right around here and pop out. I could pop out like in a second, like right now. The thing is, I could drop any of these costumes at any time. Well, my son, Joey, decided to drop his costume right around here. He said, I don't want to play that out anymore. So he stopped playing out that dramatic role. And the costume, he just dropped the coat. He just said, it's way better When he popped out of that costume, he just basically said, it's way better where I'm at. He came to his brother and told him that. His brother's still wearing the outfit and playing out the role and dreaming the dream. So when a person chooses that, they don't want to play that role anymore. Everybody in this place, you know, because you think you're this, you think this is who you are. All this stuff. It's not. It's just a shirt, you know, all this. People freak out and they do what's called grief. And I understand that's because around this age, you start being taught that by the big people behind you, that you attach. There's a table, there's a chair, there's a, you know, tree, there's a, you know, and you get attached. Now, attachment is what gets you in trouble, because you think this stuff is real. My dogs are gonna bark, and it sounds real, doesn't it? Hey, no barking. No. Anyway, so you get attached, and I'm still working on that. You know, that attachment thing. You know, where you believe that this stuff's supposed to stay. You know, you want it to stay. You say, I feel secure. I feel, oh, you know, I feel safe if I have this around me. If I have, and you get attached to all kinds of weird stuff. You get attached to pretty much everything within the context of the play. But if you remember it's a play, everything is props, everything is costumes. It's a dream. I mean, do you get attached to your dreams that you have at night? So you're having a dream at night that you're in a school, in class, and you're naked. That's the scariest dream of ever. Do you get attached to that? No, you just wake up and you say to yourself, that was just a dream. And I don't want to go back there because it was really stupid. And I was naked in a classroom. So, the same thing, this is a dream too. This is a dream state. So, you get attached to it. I get attached to this roll of paper towels. Get attached to this shirt. Do I get attached to these glasses? Do I get attached to these cheeks, these ears? Any of this? No. All of this is temporary. All of this just is a dream I'm having. Now, what do I want to be attached to? If there's an I at all, this Marianne role. The real Marianne. The real, like, who she is. Who is she? One day, I was very, very angry at God because my son had decided to stop playing out this little drama at this age. He decided around 23 that he was not going to play out this drama anymore. And I know he did it, you know, he told his brother that he woke up and he thought he was going to be in his apartment. And he looked around and he was in this really peaceful, incredible place. And he was a little confused. He felt as though he were rushing through a tunnel, he said. And he told his brother, I felt as though I was rushing through a tunnel and suddenly I'm in this place of peace and there's Dad, my dad. And my husband, in this little play here, had decided right around the age of 36 that he was no longer going to, this was in 1989 in linear time, no longer going to use, play this play out and use a body and be in this drama. So there was his dad, my son's dad, waiting for him, and he put his hand out and said, come on, son. Well, my son said there was no way he was coming back to this play and dreaming it up anymore. The heck with that. And now I celebrate that he chose that. That he said, I mean, he could have probably said, well, I still had things to do. No, he doesn't have to do that anymore. He doesn't have to dream this up. And in meditation, I've had people come to me and say to me, including my son, you can stop dreaming this anytime you want. Well, in meditation, I can. I do stop this dream and I go other places, but that's a whole different video. You can leave this dream that we're having, that I'm having. I can leave it anytime I want because I know it's a dream. It's all baloney. I don't sound really extremely spiritual when I call it bullshit. It is. It's a comedy. So you can go anytime, you know. But from the perspective of people who are attached to this place, it's a tragedy when that happens. They freak out, they grieve, they go through this whole period of grief. And I did do that because I had been taught within the dream to be attached to my son's body being there as this costume. And then I figured that was who he was. And I figured that was what I was. It was this costume. And so I was very, very angry, really, really angry at this thing that's called God, okay? Didn't know what it was because I'd been taught all my life that it was this thing outside of myself, that it existed there instead of here. So I got really angry and I was stomping around and I was yelling and I was screaming and I was so pissed off. And I said, look, you son of a bitch, where is my son now? Who is my son now? And, you know, I was giving it an actual male context for some reason because that's what I've been taught. And these words came into my head and said, find out what you are and you'll know who your son is. Well, and you know, by then Joey had already come to a lot of people, including me, and said, I'm fine, you know, I'm still here, because here is everywhere. It was kind of funny because right before Joey decided no longer to dream up this drama, he told me, where should I look for you, Mom, when you decide to no longer be here in this drama? And when you die, he said. That's how he said no longer be in this drama. He used the word die. And I said, look for me everywhere. I'll be everywhere. Now I have to, you know, flippantly, I was flippant at the time, just look for me everywhere. Well, now I have to actually do that with him. So he does come and visit, and I do see him in meditation because that's the holy grail of getting there. It's sort of like the telephone line. And I want to thank the Monroe Institute for really opening up that line because you can do it. Anybody can meditate and anybody can go all the way down and take off anytime you want. It is possible. But grief is the attachment. It's the attachment to this play. It's attachment to everything in this play. People will say to me, I've lost my house, I've lost my car, I've lost my job, I've lost my sense of who I am, you know, I've lost it all. And I say to them, find out the part, you know, and they need to grieve. I mean, I understand they have to go through that process. Find out that place that you are, that has nothing to do with any of this drama. Where's the security that's outside of the drama? So you got this, you know, you're on this earth and you're sitting right here and you're attached to all this crap. So get out of it, you know. Get out of it. Don't even be attached to the earth. You know, there's star systems, there's infinity. Go to infinity. You'd be surprised. Infinity is who you are. And I've talked to people who are near-death experiencers a lot because they seem to know a lot of stuff, okay? I haven't had what they call a near-death experience, this particular drama I've been in. But I've done a lot of traveling, and that's another video. They have told me, I asked them a very specific question, were you still you after you know, got out of this drama? And a couple of things I got from a lot of them was, when they were looking down on this drama on their bodies and saying, hey, there's my body, this is really boring. It's actually quite boring and silly. And so they kind of really want to get out of here. And they don't even recognize their bodies. They just sort of look at them and laugh and say, geez, that's me, wow. what a weird costume I was wearing in that drama. Or comedy, if you want to look at it like that. So, they also tell me that they still are them. I mean, it's the essence of who they are. So there's this uniqueness about your real self, about your higher self, about your I am part of yourself. There's this uniqueness that you still have. So that's cool. So I want to get in touch with her. That's the one I want to keep in touch with. That one that knows what's best for me. I can kind of feel her. I give it a her verbiage just because it feels better. But I can kind of feel that bigger, expanded who she is, who it is, kind of looking at this drama thing here, this costume, and having an unconditionally loving look, a kind of laughter at this whole thing, like, hey, I see you down there having a temper tantrum within the context of this. And, hey, stop barking. I'm being serious. This is a very serious video. It's very spiritual. I guess that was meant to be. Quantum acceptance. Anyway, I see this unconditional love kind of coming down, and it's laughing in a loving way, like a parent laughs at a child who's misbehaving. You look at a child who's misbehaving, and you love them so much. You don't care. You don't care what they're doing. You still love them. You love them beyond belief. I asked somebody once who was a parent, I said, if your child went out and committed 51 murders, would you still love them? Absolutely, they said. I would love them. So that's unconditional love. You know, it doesn't matter. There's no conditions to it. So I get this feeling from that better part of me, that big expanded me that is having dreams in every dimension that I mentioned on my video yesterday. I get this feeling of unconditional love from this expanded self, which is with Joey, which is with my husband, which is with everybody. There's a whole bunch of them kind of watching and watching me do this dream. And I'm watching me do this dream, actually. There's this me, this bigger me that's having a really good time watching this dream. Because it's really, really tiny. You know, it's like a poof. It's so small, it's a mini millisecond, okay? So it's all love out there within the context of this whole infinity place. And it's this tiny little dream that's this little poof that's occurring within this place. And if you can see it from that point, then it's easy to kind of just roll through it, you know? It's just like, it's already over. Since there's no past, since there's no present, since there's no future, I'm already done with this. And this dream is happening. It's already happened. It's happening now. And it's going to happen. So it's happening all at the same time. Don't try and think about that, because then your brain will explode. But I like to go to that place of knowing it's that tiny. Because then it makes more sense to be able to kind of go through this. So this, which is now covered with water since I sprayed the dogs, this is really small. Really small. Nothing to take seriously, nothing to be concerned about. Don't even, I mean, I know from what conditioning has been brought up that it's like, oh, it's so hard. But it isn't. Once you don't play it anymore, then it's like, that was easy. And again, I give credit to another near-death experience who told me that you will look at it from the viewpoint of saying that was a piece of cake, you know. So as long as I know this is a piece of cake, I'll just kind of roll with it. So just rolling with it, whatever comes in, I figure the script, you know, has been written, and I chose the script. It's a play, and I'll just kind of roll with it, not take it seriously. My son chose that his script, he made. It's none of my business that he chose his script the way he played it out. It's his business. It's his journey. My other two sons, it's their journey. I can't control other people's journeys. It's none of my business. I can't control the outcome of the play other people are in with me. When the play's finished, I know, as one friend told me, we're all going to party and we're all going to shake hands. Even the people you consider your enemies or people you don't like are still there as angels to be teaching you something. When I go out now in this play and I look at everything, I see God manifesting through everybody. I said, that's God dressed as a dog. That's God dressed as a tree. That's God dressed as a politician. That's God dressed as a cashier at Walmart. That's God dressed as a bumblebee. That's God dressed as all these things. And these are the props that God, in my dream of this whole place I'm creating. Remember the limited view that the eyes have? The eyes really have a very limited spectrum. Very limited. Because everything's just light. The ears have a kind of a little bit more, but not as much as you think. I mean, it's kind of limited, ear-wise. And the senses are limited. So you've got this kind of limited thing going on. And so you're perceiving, and plus you've been taught limitations. So you've been taught you're limited. You can only, we're not supposed to know that. So one thing I always annoys me is when I hear people who consider themselves spiritual, they say, well, you're not supposed to know that. We're not going to know that until we pass on. Well, since there's no past, present, or future, you've already passed on. You're already there. And you're just dreaming all this stuff up. So you've already passed on. Ha ha. So you can get in touch with all those people who you think have passed on by meditation or just believing it. Just believe it. You're not limited. And I say to these people, I don't believe that. Because I've always been kind of a rebel. And I say, nope, I'm limitless. The I am is limitless. This is just a costume. That's all it is. It's nothing more, nothing less. It's just a costume I'm wearing. The I am, or that bigger thing that has no name, but you can name it anything you want. God, that is who I am, really. And this is just the tiny, teensy, weensy, little, itsy bitsy play. And there's a whole bunch of them going on all over the place. And I'm dreaming this. So you're watching a dream right now, watching me on camera having a dream that I'm talking to a bunch of people on a video. That's all it is. So why take it seriously, right? Nothing to be serious about. By the way, all the people out there who are going, oh, I miss so-and-so. It's okay to miss the costume of the person that has decided not to use it anymore, but that's not who they were. That was just an aspect of them wearing a costume. They're still with you. They haven't left. And you can talk to them all day long if you want to. Just in your mind you can talk to them. And believe that they're talking back, because they really are. They'll come and tell you things and blow your mind. And they'll only give you what you need. Don't get frustrated. I want more. Sometimes I've gotten frustrated and said, Joey, to my son, show up wearing your costume again, just for a second, so I can see it. And he says, it kind of comes back at me with, yeah, that'll be the day that you decide to no longer wear your costume is when I'm going to do that. So he kind of makes jokes all the time, because that's the way his essence was in his costume. He was funny. He had a great sense of humor. Still does. So that's my deep and meaningful thing for today. And I did it because somebody asked me to. So don't take any of this seriously if you possibly can. And realize that there is no such thing as death. You just stop dreaming this up. That's all this is. This is a dream. You just stop dreaming it up. And there's no such thing as death. Birth and death, as Dr. Betty Kovacs says, are two aspects of the same state of being. Just, that's it. Birth and death are intertwined. So there's tons of births and deaths going on all the time that you're doing. You're dreaming all over the place. And this is just one of them. So this isn't serious, okay? All right. That's enough of that. All right. Thank you for listening, and bye. And namaste, right? I'm supposed to say that. Okay, namaste. Love you.